Hello everybody, this is Kenneth Marks of the Ancestor Hunt. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a video on how we find all of the newspapers within the Library of Congress Chronicling America site. Now, this is all the newspapers, not necessarily just those that have been digitized. There's a nice directory that the Library of Congress makes available that allows you to find them, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail in a moment. Part 2 of this video series will discuss how you find all the newspapers that have been digitized within the Chronicling America site. There are over 6 million pages. And part 3 is where we get into the nitty-gritty of actually searching for articles. So let's go to part 1, where we look for those publications, again over 130,000 of them that have ever been published in America, and how we find them and where they are located. This is the home page for the Chronicling America site. The URL up at the top is chroniclingamerica.loc.gov. Again, you can search the site, but that's what we're going to discuss in part 3 of this video series. Again, part 1 is about the U.S. newspaper directory over here on the right from 1690 to present. So let's click on that, and that brings up the page for searching through the directory. You can browse the directory by selecting the first name of the newspaper title over here. You can search by state, and let's pick California, and then you can search by counties, and let's pick Fresno, and then by city, and there are a number of them. Let's pick Fresno here. Then you can go ahead and hit search. Let's do that first. And that shows you that there have been 68 results that have publications from Fresno in various locations. For example, let's pick one here. Let's pick the California Courier from Fresno, California. This gives a great deal of information about that particular publication. Dates of publication, description, frequency, it's a weekly, subjects, some notes, the catalog number from the Library of Congress, and finally at the bottom, which is the key thing you want to click for any of these, is View Complete Holdings Information. What this does is this lists where that particular publication is located, either in an archive or a library. For example, in the California State Library in Sacramento, the original version of that particular publication, again the California Courier from Fresno, 1958 to current, is located at the California State Library. And here it shows you the dates of that publication that are held in this particular archive. So you've got 1982 and 1983 in Sacramento. And let's go down a little bit further. At the LA County Public Library in Downey, you've got 1958 copies available in microfilm. At UCLA, you've got the dates as you can see here, and they are available as original. So if you do not have the opportunity to find this particular publication as in digitized form online, which is a very small percentage of all the publications that have ever been put out there for newspapers, you are going to have to go to the library or make arrangements to get interlibrary loan for the microfilm if they make it available. But that is up to you. Either go to the library and look for yourself through the original copies or through the microfilm copies, or make other arrangements. But that's between you and the library or the archive. So let's go back and look at it, what other search capabilities we have. You can also narrow the search for dates, the year of publication. There's a from and a to. It looks like it does it by decade. You can enter a keyword. You can search for frequency. For example, you can look for biweekly publications, monthly publications, etc. You can narrow it to language, and let's do that right now. Let's pick Choctaw, for example, and see what kind of publications are available that have ever been done in America in the Choctaw language. We hit search, and as you can see, there are 16 of them. And again, if you click on any one of those, it tells you a little bit about that information about that publication. You go to holdings, and it shows you where it is located. Again, These are all in Oklahoma, it looks like. Oh, here's some in Texas and Wisconsin. And it tells you it's in microfilm, and here's the date, 1898. This one's in microfilm, etc. Again, you make arrangements with those particular libraries and archives in order to see them in their original form. So let's go back. Let's go back and take the Choctaw off here. You can also search for different ethnicities. For example, if you were interested in African American newspapers, you would hit African American under ethnicity, hit search, and as you can see, there's 2,200 of those that have ever been published in the United States. You go through the same thing here as I showed you earlier. You click on the publication of interest, it shows you the information. You go to the view complete holding information, and again it shows you where they are located in terms of libraries or archives, again with the dates that are held within each of those libraries. So that's very handy. And let's go back. We also have the option of choosing occupational based newspapers. For example, here's one on agricultural industries. I imagine there might be a few of those. Let's hit search. There's 4 of them, and as you can see, there are 4 publications here that are revolving around the subject of farming and agriculture that are in newspapers. And let's go back one more time and look at some other options. You can select what material it is saved in. For example, microfilm master, microform original, online resource, etc. And then you can always search by the Library of Congress catalog number if you have it. So that is it. This is where you will find where the newspapers of interest are indeed located. And again, there are 6 million pages that have been digitized, but there are over 130,000 newspapers that have ever been published in America, and there are way less than 5% that have ever been digitized. So there's a lot more out there, either in original form or in microfilm, and they are held throughout the United States in libraries, universities, and archives. And by using the U.S. Newspaper Directory, this is how you find where they are located and how you might get access to them. So let's go back to our home page, and that just about does it. That is the end of part 1 of our video series, which again deals with where you find all of the newspapers that have ever been published in America. Part 2 coming up will be about where you find the digitized newspapers that are in the Chronicling America collection, and part 3 is where we actually search for articles. Thank you for listening. Hope you go to part 2, and happy hunting.